Mr. Markroyd, and it's kind of hard. Nothing like your story by any means, but I think there's a reason why I've taught freshmen for 19 years now, because I was a hell of a freshman. I was a pretty good student, but we had this one teacher, and I apologize to the science teachers in here, who just didn't engage me, and I kind of got a kick out of getting extra attention, being a class clown. I can remember we used to take these full pages of paper, wad them up, put them in our mouth. She would turn around, and I can remember just taking that thing and wham, slamming it against the back one, and she'd turn around. Anyway, I had this social studies teacher who took me aside one afternoon, and he basically stepped out and said, "You can do better than that. I expect better. I expect better from you." And he was a person that I respected as a teacher. And it was the first time, maybe not the first time, but it was a time in my life where I'm like, whoa, someone's paying attention. And that changed me. It changed me as a student, and it changed my life. That, you know, people ask you, you know, when did you know you wanted to be a teacher? Well, I knew I wanted to be a teacher not too long after talking with Mr. Markroyd. And throughout the next few years, he molded and shaped me as a student. I remembered his passion for seeing the world. Eventually, he would go out and see the world, join the U.S. Diplomatic Corps, went to China. During that time, he was learning how to speak Chinese. And then eventually, this is kind of interesting, he ended up in the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union was breaking up. And he was supposed to go back and teach. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay here and witness history happening, because this is history. And he got in trouble for that and ended up losing his job. But this was a man that had a lot of conviction for what he was doing and what he believed in. And I'll never forget him stepping out and reaching out to me and saying, I expect better of you. And it changed my life. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to go home to Michigan. I didn't grow up in the St. Louis area. We got word that Mr. Markroyd had cancer. He had I believe it was a grade 4 tumor. And I had the opportunity with another one of my classmates to go spend an afternoon with Mr. Markroyd and talk about his experiences in the Soviet Union and China. It gave me an opportunity to thank him for the impact that he had on my life, because you don't usually get an opportunity to do something like that. And I will never forget. I mean, he was in really bad shape, but he wouldn't let you know, that he was in terrible shape. But I'll never forget us going out, because he couldn't do a lot of things at that point. But we got him on this pontoon boat, and he drove us around this little lake that he was living his last days on. And, we saw the old Mr. Markroyd, the life, that he had when he taught and inspired us. And I'll never forget that afternoon, how beautiful it was, what kind of a beautiful man he was. I'm just glad that I had an opportunity to say thank you. I'll never forget hugging him the last time that I saw him. We don't get an opportunity to do that in life too often, to say thank you. And so I'm glad I got the opportunity to do that. And occasionally I get a student that'll come back and do the same for me. I appreciate that myself. But that's my story.
Perfect.